What's up, guys? This is Bulvar the Fell-Handed. Today I have some footage from LuRBLE79 in his T62A. We are on Mountain Pass Standard Battle. The greens have taken the northwestern side and the reds the southeastern. Now, Mr. LuRBLE assures me he had severe lag issues right about here. This is to account for him randomly turning around and backing up into a rock. I don't know if I believe him, but you know what? It doesn't matter. So, we are going to push the left flank. That is essentially the A line. You can do a lot of work from the top of that shelf there at A5, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Once that kind of develops and you take care of the gents down there at D8, then you can kind of move up and take shots at the guys that are going to be on the bridge, because you know the guys are going to be on the bridge. So essentially this is putting you in good positions. Now, the downside of this is, there's a few downsides. The primary downside is your T62A only has 5 degrees of gun depression to work with. Now granted, of course, that's not great. It could be worse. You could be using the Chinese heavies, or excuse me, Chinese mediums, which have like 2.5, 3.5, something. Anyway, so it could always be worse. Granted, we're not in an STB. It could always be better. That being said, the other downside is that the artillery can hit you perfectly from this location, as we will see. Now, right now, we're not really committing too much. You know, we haven't seen anything around the corner, but at the same time, we didn't run down the hill to spot some guys. So we're playing it smart. We're playing it safe. We put a round there in 5100, or it's 5120, whatever. It's a tank. We put a round in that tank. I can't really tell from here. I apologize since we're in third person. We put a round in him. We have another gentleman coming up. Essentially, guys, there's not a lot they can see from this angle. The turret, a little bit of the upper hull, which would most likely bounce at this angle unless they're running a very, very hot round. But, you know, then obviously even if they run heat, there's a good possibility it may bounce yet, because high explosive anti-tank rounds do not like angled armor. Little known fact. Okay, so moving on. Things have started to open up for us, so we're going to come down here, see if we can't get some shots around the bridge here. We have a Moshin down here, if that is how you say it. I don't know. If I'm saying it wrong, comment below and let me know. We're putting some rounds on him. We're not having a whole lot of success. This is a very, very tough tank. Very tricky to pin. Not a lot going on here as far as us, you know, making a real impact, or anyone else for that matter. He has a little bit of health gone, but for the most part, he is okay with being shot at. And that's kind of, you know, the downside. These tanks tend to be gigantic roadblocks. You know, you can pin them, but if they are acting defensively, such as, you know, your tier 10 Moss turning his turret, it's going to be a little hard to pin, even with a hot round. So, you know, we have a few guys over here firing on this gent. We snuck another round into him. We're getting him down to about half. I believe that's a 155-58 firing at us. He is very concerned about us being there. he put a little bit of round in us there. Luckily, the French do not have much of a splash damage range, so we're in luck a little bit right there. So moving on, we're still maintaining position. We're not rushing out, and we're not being too hasty. I see a lot of the newer players, they go out here and they just rush into things. You know, the longer you stay alive, the more useful impact you can have on the game. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. We're biding our time. We're not rushing. We're playing it as it comes. Now, we are going to move out here, and as soon as we move out, we see there is a AMX-30 right over here to our right. He is not happy with us being here. We had no idea he was there. But the good news is we do have backup. We put a round in him on the way in. It looks like another gentleman put a round in him. He fumbled the shot. You know, the French tanks are not known to make amazing clutch shots like the Russians. We put another round in him. We take a round, and then we finish him off. but we're kind of in trouble because we also have a gent over here to our 12 o'clock who put the round in the back of the turret there. We pull up, we put a round in him, and now we're just kind of tucking in because at this point, you know, he could one-shot us. We are on one-shot, DEFCON 1 one-shot. Looks like the Yag behind us took him out, thank goodness. So now we're free to pursue our other duties, like seeing what's going on up in this cap area, checking on these artillery folks that have been shooting at us all game, and putting them to task. Hopefully we won't run into anyone else around this corner here. I don't think we will because we would have seen them earlier. The downside is we don't have a lot of things lit up on the map as far as the reds go, and that's mainly because we don't really have that many friendlies on the map. There's only a handful of us left, and we don't really know, you know, where to go from here. So we can go ahead and assume there's definitely going to be a few arties up here, probably one on the hill. So we just kind of needed to act accordingly. One over there in the open, that's kind of your traditional arty area. You probably have one on the hill, you know, getting ready to come down. So in these cases, guys, you really have to assume where where any tank's going to be. You know, with your more mobile tanks, your mediums, your lights, you can assume a few areas they're going to be. And this is just good tanking in general. But your tank destroyers, you know, things of that nature. I mean, let's not just focus on arty, because it's pretty much obvious where the arty's going to set pretty much every map around the cap, around the spawn. But in generalities, you know your tank destroyers are going to set in the back. They're going to set outside of 445 meters view range, which is maximum view range, and they're going to do, you know, work out of their ally spotting distance, which is very, very smart. And that works for a lot of your bigger TDs that don't have very good camo. Your heavies are going to push a flank. They're going to push. There's a few primary push points across the map. So you just learn these, and then you can kind of, you know, adapt and plan on what you expect to see where. So just keep that in mind. So we have taken, back to the game, we've taken the Reds cap, and it looks like we are going to be outcapped, sadly. There's not really a whole lot we can do at this point. We couldn't even made it back to our cap. Even if we were in a light tank, it just was not in the cards, wasn't going to happen. 3466 damage with 707 assist, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you guys next time.